Hi, everyone. I'm Steven Stoneberg, CFO and COO of Bittrex Global, and host of our video AMA today. We're joined today by not one, but two guests from Bitcoin Vault, BTCV, a great project listed on Bittrex Global. We've got Kasper Wisniewski, the Chief Technology Officer, and I'm sure I've butchered his name, and Radek Popiel, the Chief Communications Officer at Bitcoin Vault. I'm really excited to be talking to these two today about their Bitcoin Vault project. If you don't know already, this was the first blockchain to adapt to the Decentralized Digital Mining Standard, DDMS, of the World Digital Mining Organization, Inc., which is WDMO. Thank you for joining us, Kasper and Radek, and for choosing Bittrex Global as a partner.
Hello, Steven. Thank you. It's good to be here.
So we have sourced a few questions from both the Bittrex Global and the crypto communities at large regarding BTCV's listing. So let's jump right into it. So the first question we have for both of you, and you can decide if you both want to address each question or who's going to take which one. What's the story behind the origins of your project's name? Why did you choose it? And what was your vision when Bitcoin Vault was first forming?
Well, okay, let me start then. It's actually a pretty simple story because what can be more secure than a vault? And what we actually have in mind here is that Bitcoin Vault is we meant here to give users more power over securing their own assets. So, for example, we don't have one key; we have 3 keys. So users have more power to more options to actually manage their own assets. And long story short, it's Bitcoin. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the king. So Bitcoin Vault, why not? It's secure.
Okay, that's a good answer. As a consumer, I like it. Kasper, do you think you want to add to that, or did he pretty much cover it?
I think that because he also asked what was our vision when we created, this name. So basically, we always wanted to set a higher standard of security when we created this crypto and distinguish it from Bitcoin, obviously. So we weren't afraid to use the name of Bitcoin, like Radek said, because this is something that is well known, and basically we like the idea how it works. So we just wanted to add, another layer of security in there, just to cover the problems that some people might have, like making mistakes and then you cannot take it back, for example.
Okay, great. So can you share some of the advantages, the next question from the community, can you share the advantages of your protocol compared to other projects, especially in regards to security? Why is yours better?
Okay. 3 keys. Basically, it's 3 keys. So normally in within the coin or token, you manage your wallet by having 1 key. We wanted to have 3 keys because of a simple vision that we wanted to offer, probably, as to our knowledge, the first proof of work coin that allows you to reverse transactions. So to do that, we use very specific combination of 3 keys. You have first key that is automatically managed within the app. Then you have 2 keys. One is for canceling transaction, and actually the third one is to make this transaction like standard in terms of speed. So instant. That was the main idea, and it's actually what distinguished this project from the others, from the crowd.
Okay.
This is basically it.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think that's good. Okay, and we have a lot of questions, so we'll just try to blow through all of these, and then at the end we can obviously, if there's anything you want to cover that we haven't covered, feel free. So third question, one of our community members brought up the 3 issues prevalent, or they think are prevalent, in crypto and blockchain technology: security, interoperability, and scalability. So we already touched on security in the last question, how does BTCV address interoperability and scalability?
All right, so maybe let me jump in. On one of the top projects, key features that we want to introduce in the coming year is related with wrap Bitcoin Vault, and it's related with ERC20, let's say, wrapping of Bitcoin Vault. And by achieving this, we want to be able to operate on smart contracts via Ethereum chain, with the use of Bitcoin Vault and proof of work coin, as you know, as we, this is what we have decided at the very beginning. So I believe from the technology point of view, this is something that will allow us to you know, to reach different level of interoperability with different subchains. So this is our main goal for this year. The plan is to introduce this within the fourth quarter of 2021, and from technical point of view, the work is ongoing. We are on the track according to our roadmap. There's a lot of preparations, and this is just a huge task. I mean, smart contracts, in my opinion, I'm a big fan of it, because you can make basically with the algorithm, this is what it is. You can build from the scratch probably pretty much any concept that you have in your head. So this is what we want, and then you can just operate with different chains as well, because Ethereum is just a huge itself. So this is when it comes to this question, I think on proof of work we are very limited to what we can do with that, but this is our approach for solving this problem in the coming year. When it comes to this scalability, and you know, there is different tasks related with that. Probably how many operations per minute or per second you can proceed, and different stuff. But we are working on that right now. We don't have I wouldn't say that this is a bottleneck for our development right now. So it wasn't a key focus for our developers and the business need, as our network is growing, but still we have a margin before it becomes a bottleneck. So I believe we will approach this problem by the end of this year.
Great. Radek, do you have something?
I may add that we would wish to have a problem with scalability. That would be great, actually.
That'd be a high quality problem, as they call them.
Exactly. So yeah, we are looking at the space. There are some good solution, less good solution. I'm sure that we can also address this issue when it occurs. Right now, it's not an issue for us.
Good. Okay. Really interesting. I like your approach. So the next question from our community, are you jumping on the DeFi bandwagon? And I guess the follow-up questions to that, you know, what innovations have you brought to the space if you are in the bandwagon, and what sort of collaboration and partnerships are you doing? But what is your view on the whole DeFi bandwagon? We get asked this all the time.
Oh, all right. So let me just take care of the first part of this question about the wrap Bitcoin Vault and DeFi. So our approach to, I as a technical person, I see this as a broader picture. You know, when it comes to smart contracts and DeFi, what's about? You know, it's like interfering and giving algorithms to people to do different stuff. So right now, we are not yet, and we don't participate in DeFi market as proof of work coin, but our approach, of course, one of the concepts why we want to have a wrapped Bitcoin Vault is to approach DeFi as well. Right now, it's not happening, but probably I presume it will happen once we have the token. But for me, more important is that we will be able to use this smart contracts, and because DeFi is right now, it has been for a while. And then we see different options on the market that can follow up related I would say direction with DeFi. And once we are able to, and once we have, I will even not introduce, but once we are able to use the smart contracts, then we can follow up whatever comes on the market. So it's from my perspective, it's much wider than just DeFi. But right now we don't have any partnerships, and we didn't enter this train, but we are working on that. Probably Radek can say more about our marketing approach and like a DeFi vision for the future.
Yeah, well, this actually came out from our community. We have a huge and growing everyday community, and they asked us for a lot of things, but among them, let's say, frankly, there is a huge hype around DeFi. Last few months, it was a huge disruption on the market. So for sure, we are looking at the space. We will propose our own solutions. First of all, like a milestone for us, it will be entering the space with Wrap BTCV.
Right. No, I think just for what it's worth, I get asked about DeFi all the time. What is it? Like, it's just decentralized finance. It's not rocket science, but we love our acronyms in crypto. But I think that there's a lot of hype. I think long-term I'm bullish, but I think, it's going to take some time for what's actually happening to live up to the hype. I think we still live in a pretty centralized world.
I think it's still a matter of usability and what we can actually do here, because you can count few really strong projects here, but overall the space is getting more and more crowded, and only good solution will
I think it's a space to watch. Like, definitely great things coming, but I think it's just very early days still.
Yeah.
Great. So in terms of, our next question, what are some of the major achievements that Bitcoin Vault has achieved, and what milestones are planned in the upcoming months and years?
All
okay.
Right, so
Kasper, you want to take it?
Yes, let me maybe run through our technical achievements, and then I will let you do the other part. So for me, the biggest achievement for the past year, I would say, is introducing these free keys, because we started over a year ago. And to be honest with you, it took around 10 months of development to introduce these free keys that Radek already mentioned. So it might seem as a simple solution that you just create free ecliptic curve keys and scan them and the transaction is reversed, but it's not the case. We had to oversee a lot of things that might happen in the between, and then we had to develop the software itself. We have a mobile version and desktop version, so we had followed by Windows, Mac OS, and different Linux, and so also iOS and Android and etc. So we had to cover a wide field from the technical point of view. So I'm the thing that I would say I'm proud the most is being able that whatever we promised to the community for the past year according to the roadmap, it was delivered. Maybe with some a week or two being delayed, but in general picture we keep the dates, and from technical person, it's like whatever we promised, and we appreciate what our community does to us. I mean, we treat them very seriously. So whatever was on the roadmap was delivered, and this free keys was our main feature at that time. Right now we have several different features for this year, but free keys was something that our community demanded, and this is why they were interested in the first place with the project. So we delivered this by the end of the year. It was in the, I presume, the last quarter. So this is a technical person. I had to change
technical answer. So Radek, what's the marketing answer?
No, marketing answer wouldn't be much different. It's true.
Good. The technical answer is pretty good, by the way. I like it.
So this 1 year of development, we came to the point when on the mainnet we were able to introduce our solution based on free keys, and we are delivering users the ability to reverse transactions. You can reverse transaction, but the blockchain is still immutable, just to be clear, because people often confuse the topic and say that we are against the Satoshi vision, and it shouldn't be like that. It's against the core of Bitcoin. I agree, but still, blockchain is immutable. Transactions are user is able to reverse transaction within the first 24 hours. That's it. Then when it goes into the block, it's done deal. So other milestones, I would say it would be growing a bigger, better, and everyday growing community. It's because of their feedback, our product is what it is right now. It's not yet, of course, ideal. We have a lot of requests, a lot of asks for new features, new some kind of things within the app. So we're trying to develop, first of all, hearing our community, then developing according to what is being asked for us. And I think it's also one of the bigger milestones for a coin or token to have a community behind. Without it, it's worth nothing. I don't mean in terms of money, but in terms of actually having a user base and a use cases. So I think it's very early in this project. We are at the beginning of the journey with mainnet fully launched on November last year. So it's very the beginning, and last year also on December last year we have published a new white paper, new roadmap. So there are things that are going on in motion, and we are really proud to have this kind of community behind. So I think this project is gonna make a disruption on the market still.
Good. Looking forward to it. Well, so that great answers from both of you. Really interesting. So moving on to our next question, we're about halfway through. So is BTCV a layer 2 solution? How much impact do you think the launch of ETH 2.0 mainnet will have on layer 2 projects?
Okay, so we are a proof of work coin, so we are not a layer 2 solution at the moment. But once we join, let's say, in somehow wrap BTCV and the Ethereum network itself, then we can say yes, somehow we participate in layer 2 solutions. So right now we are not in a layer 2 solution, but once, as I said, the smart contracts is the word. We enter it, then we can interfere with the interesting subchains or that are Ethereum compatible. So this is my insight. When it comes to the Ethereum 2.0, and switching to proof of stake and basically, so I always have seen Ethereum as more technical and a coin that allows you to do much more stuff when it comes to the let's say writing algorithms and just creating stuff as a programmer, and then you can create applications for people, and it all comes to the how many use cases a given coin or a project can allow you. So it is also a case for Bitcoin Vault. Some of the sub projects that we have are focused on the way how easily our software allows user to use it, and this is one of the use cases. When it comes to Ethereum, right now we have some dApps, and but especially with the all-time high price rise right now, it's like something that has a great value for users, but you're not able to use it because it's too expensive. So
it wasn't. It's funny. All the technical people I talked to are like shocked by the price rise because it just wasn't designed to be a speculative investment. It's not his use case, but it's ironic. The market seems to have other ideas for it. But what do you think though will happen? I mean, with this, we're going a bit off tangent, but you've got this price rise in this asset, which wasn't designed. It's making it almost too expensive for its use case. Do we need something different now? Or what do you think will happen? Or the price will just come down to earth a bit?
I don't want to talk about the price because I have slightly
I never have an idea
what will happen exactly. Yeah. from my perspective as more technical person, there's a lot of smart people working on solution to that. The Ethereum has a strong technical support from like Vitalik and people just who are in the project from the very beginning. So there is a lot of smart people, and they will come up with something. This is how I see it. Even if not soon, then later, but sooner or later it will happen.
I definitely would label that as a high quality problem, especially versus when ETH had crashed 2 or 3 years
exactly
ago.
And as traders say, everything that went up has to go down at some point.
Well, I mean, if you just look at the parabolic move, it's historically other asset classes, when they've gone up like that, they typically have a price correction, including ETH and Bitcoin the last time around. But who knows? We're in a brave new world, so let's see what happens. Okay, so how about, again, the next question from the community? It's sort of building on that one. Can you share any behind the scenes stories that have contributed to a Bitcoin Vault success? Is there anything interesting that the listeners would like to hear?
Well, it was quite a journey. It still is, but maybe an idea that standing behind the Bitcoin Vault is pretty simple. There was a guy who sent a transaction to the wrong address, or there was a guy who sent a transaction to the wrong address but wrong amount. So at this point, you wish for your wallet to
pull it back, like the bank.
to pull it back.
Exactly.
So we know the stories of I know it was last month, I think, that guy sent $500,000 somewhere where he shouldn't supposed to send it. So I would recommend using Bitcoin Vault for that. So the story is simple. I think the truth is that this coin was created. We were able to create it thanks to Eyal Avramovich, who is also very well-known miner on the market. On global market. So he's a founder, co-creator of the strategy of all of this behind. And actually, I think still the most important part of every coin is the team. So Eyal actually took many different people from different parts of the world. We came together, we created a team, and we actually came up with this idea how to solve a problem. And that's it. That's the story. And I think it's quite important that you have a problem, that you find a solution with a blockchain to it.
Yeah, I can also add, the reason why we might be seen as successful, at least by some people looking at the achievements, is that the team that Radek mentioned is people who are true enthusiasts, and we are in here because we love what we do. So, doing the job that you really enjoy and you put all your heart into, it's like it's good to see that there are some results on the market as well.
Great.
Sure.
So basically founded on a horror story, but it's a success. So I think that's how I would sum it up. But that's really great. And so a couple more questions before we wrap it up. How do you reward miners?
That's pretty simple. We are a proof of work algorithm, so all the rewards go to the miners. Whoever gets lucky with the pool gets it.
Okay, that's straightforward. So the next question, someone else has rewards on their mind as well and inquired, quote, "I am a crypto hacker. Does your project reward someone who can find a bug in your ecosystem?"
We don't have yet an official bounty hunting program. Not yet. I mean, it's actually it's on our roadmap in the pipeline. When it comes to security, we have our own internal team, and actually they were in the last few weeks, quite successful finding some holes. It's already
So you've
gone,
done some internal hole finding.
no
What if,
worries.
what if
Yeah.
somebody finds a hole and they, like, we get random emails quite a bit where
Yeah.
a hacker will say they found a vulnerability. We send it off to an internal team and I think they look at it. So do
Yeah,
you,
and
if someone
it's
does that,
actually
will you, and they find a real bug, will you entertain perhaps making it worth their while, or?
Yes. So we actually have already people who came up with some ideas, and when we tested it, some of them were truly, let's say, worthwhile. So
That's a good
as I said, we don't have an official program, but we are still working with white hats.
Yeah, and it's always helpful, I think, to have the community incentivized,
Exactly.
at least, to help find some things.
It's in the pipeline for this year, so at the end of the year, we will probably launch an official program after the internal and external pen tests.
Good, great to know. And the last question, as a community member and a fan of your project, how can I support Bitcoin Vault's growth? What role does community play in the Bitcoin Vault ecosystem? That's a question from a member, not from me.
Oh, well, that's actually a good question. What we value the most is the feedback. So please share feedback with us. We will propose some new solutions in terms of collecting feedback from community with new tools we're developing, like, for example, website. But still, you can reach out to us on Twitter, Telegram, whatever you like. Share feedback with us. Tell us what you like, what you don't like, especially, so we can improve. I think this is the biggest value of community, is that you can actually take this insight.
Where can they find all your channels? Do they go to your website? Is that where they can find?
Yes, website bitcoinvault.global or simply btcv.com. You can find us, you can find the team, you can contact us, you can find all the social media we have, and we have all of them, I think. So feel free to reach out.
Great. So is there so this has been really, really fun. It's a great project. Again, we're really grateful to be working with you. Anything you want to leave, final words for the community, or anything you want to bring up that we haven't touched on?
I might add something to that, what Radek said. We also have a testnet version. So even if you are not convinced to our solution and to Bitcoin Vault, you can actually test our solution for free. And on a funny money, I call it like a Bitcoin Vault testnet blockchain. So it means you can reach out to us. That we have a sub page. You just download the wallet and you test it. And then if you're not convinced, just test the solution before you buy it. So the same with us. You have the opportunity to check it. And then, as Radek said, everything we do for the community, for people who actually would use this solution. We also thinking about approaching, a company. So we have a clear vision how to approach in the future from the technical point of view and marketing. But just as a user of crypto market, basically, I believe strongly that if people won't use it, we won't be successful. So this is my main approach, and appreciate even if you don't like something, then give a feedback. Maybe we'll be able to change, simplification in our software or make it more user friendly. This is my main focus right now.
Great. Well, I think this has been a really interesting session. Thanks both to you, Kasper and Radek, for joining us today on this video AMA. I think we've learned a lot about Bitcoin Vault. It's always great in general. I really love chatting with token teams and entrepreneurs that are driving the global crypto community forward. It brings one back to the early days of the market. So for our listeners, again, want to learn more about Bitcoin Vault, please go to bitcoinvault.global. or as Radek said, btcv.com. Thanks, everybody.
Exactly.
See you soon.
Thank you for having us.
Pleasure.